Hare Srimad, His Divine Grace, Hilaboy Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Skandiviti, Founders Area Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Dainitai Gaura Pimanande. All gladies to the assembled devotees, all gladies to the assembled devotees, all gladies to the assembled devotees, all gladies to see Guru and to see Gauranga, all gladies to Sri Prabhupada ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Taksuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanstana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vansakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati tamasloke bhaktir bhaviti naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nistreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasayanam Mahat. The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, is the king of all Vedic literatures. Is compiled, is the literary incarnation of God, compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Sarabhyai Namaha Om Sarabhyai Namaha Om Sarabhyai Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripat Maham Bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Yat Kripat Maham Bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class. We are continuing from Canto number 1, chapter 19, entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. It's a new verse? Okay. Okay. Merci. Thank you. Yeah. We have consistency. Yesterday, today. Text number 20.
30.
Okay, 30. Yes, correct. Sa samvritas
Samritas
tatra
Tatra
mahan
Mahan
mahiyasam
Mahiyasam
brahmarshi
Brahmarshi
rajarshi
Rajarshi
devarshi
Devarshi
uh, sanghai
Sanghai
vyaro chatalam
Vyaro Chatalam
bhagavan
Bhagavan
yatendur
Yatendu
grahak grahaksha
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 tara
Tara
nikarai
Nikarai
paritah
Paritah
sasamvritastatra mahanmayasam
Samritas Mahan Mahiyasam
brahmarshi rajarshi devarshi sanghai
Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sanghai
vyarochat vyarocatalam bhagavan yatendur
Virojataram Bhagavan Yatendu
grahakshatara nikarai paritah
Grahakshara Nikarai Paritah
sasamvritastatra mahanmahiyasam
Samritasat Mahan Mahiyasam
brahmarshi rajarshi devarshi sanghai
Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sanghai
vyarocatalam bhagavan yatendur
Virojataram Bhagavan Yatendu
grahakshatara nikarai paritah
Grahakshara Nikarai Paritah
sasamvritastatra mahanmahiyasam
Samritasat Mahan Mahiyasam
brahmarshi rajarshi devarshi sanghai
Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sanghai
vyarocatalam bhagavan yatendur
Virojataram Bhagavan Yatendu
grahakshatara nikarai paritah
Grahakshara Nikarai Paritah
sasamvritastatra mahanmahiyasam brahmarshi devarshi sanghai vyarocatalam bhagavan yatendur grahakshatara nikarai paritah
Samritasat Mahan Mahiyasam
sasamvritastatra mahanmahiyasam
Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sanghai
brahmarshi rajarshi devarshi sanghai
Vyarocatalam Bhagavan Yatendu
vyarocatalam bhagavan yatendur
Grahakshatara Nikarai Paritah
grahakshatara nikarai paritah
Samritasatva Mahan Mahiyasam
sasamvritastatra mahanmahiyasam
Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sanghai
brahmarshi rajarshi devarshi
Virojataram Bhagavan Yatendu Virojataram Bhagavan Yatendu Grahakshataha Nikarai Paritah
rakshatara nikarai paritah
Samritastatra Mahan Mahiyasham Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sanghai
brahmarshi rajarshi devarshi sanghai
Virojatalam Bhagavan Yatendu
Yarochatalam Bhagavan Yatendur.
ग्रह रक्षतारा निकरहे परितः तसंवृतस्त्र महान् महीयसाम्
Yasamritastatra Mahanmayesam
भ्रमर्षि राजर्षि देवर्षि संघे
Brahmarshi Rajarshi Devarshi Sangai
भैरोच्यतालं भगवान् यतेन्दु
Yarochatalam Bhagavan Yatendur
ग्रहर्षतारा निकरय परितः
Prahakshatara Nikarai Paritaha Saha Sri Shukadeva Goswami Samvritaha surrounded by Tatra there Mahan great Mahiyasam of the greatest Brahmarshi saints among the Brahmanas Rajarshi saint among the kings Devarshi saint among the demigods Sanghai by the assembly of Vyarochata well deserved Alam able Bhagavan powerful Yatha as Indu the moon Graha planets Riksha heavenly bodies Tara stars Nikarai by the assembly of Paritaha surrounded by translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Shukadeva Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all. Kindly repeat after me. Shukadeva Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all. Report. In the great assembly of saintly personalities, there was Vyasadeva, the Brahmarshi Narada, there was Vyasadeva, the Brahmarshi, Narada, the Devarshi, Parasuram, the great ruler of the Kshatriya kings, etc. Some of them were powerful incarnations of the Lord. Shukadeva Goswami was not known as Brahmarshi, Rajarshi, or Devarshi, nor was he an incarnation like Narada, Vyas, or Parasuram. And yet, he excelled them in respects paid. This means that the devotee of the Lord is more honored in a world than the Lord himself. One should therefore never minimize the importance of a devotee like Shukadeva Goswami. Translation again, Shukadeva Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all. So as the text is explaining, Brahmarshi, Brahmanas, Rajarshi, kings, saintly kings, and Devarshi, Deva, demigods. Whole Vedic culture is especially, we could say, in the hands of such exalted personalities, Brahmanas, who are meant to teach the Vedic knowledge, who are meant to live by example, being totally dependent on the Lord, not accepting salary. In modern day society, it's unthinkable not to have a salary. But Vedic culture, those who are teachers, actual teachers, they are by nature and by definition, they are totally dependent on the Lord and are satisfied with whatever material arrangements is made. So not only those who are meant to be completely devoted to the cultivation of transcendental knowledge, Brahmanas, that is their, we could say, specialty, but even those who are engaged in material activities, like the kings, they're also meant to cultivate the same mood and mentality of renunciation. They are also meant to mold their lives based on the principles of dharma. So they are meant to be rishis. So the brahmanas, the kshatriyas, and then of course the demigods. There's meant to be cooperation and also interaction, as we see anecdotes, well, as we see right here actually, different demigods also present in that very exalted assembly of highly elevated brahmanas, highly elevated saintly persons, saintly kings, and highly elevated demigods. And of course, amongst all of these great personalities was a 16-year-old boy, as Prabhupada mentions here, not known as a Brahmana or Kshatriya, or not in the category of Brahmana, Kshatriya, or demigod, but because of his very exalted, very high level of consciousness, being in the category of Paramahamsa, Shukadeva Goswami. Prabhupada is making this point here. Was honored and respected as one would respect the Supreme Lord himself. And actually, here it's mentioned how the devotees of the Lord are given at times more honor than that given to the Lord Himself. Means that is the that is how the Lord arranges at times actually for His devotees to be glorified. Just to uh, just to point out um, how those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord are very uh, dear to the Lord. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining that those who claim to be my devotees are not actually my devotees. Those who are devotees are my devotees. Those who engage in rendering service to my devotees, they are actually they're the ones who are actually my devotee. And that is why, of course, when we recite the 10 offenses, the first and the foremost of all the offenses is to minimize or offend those who are actually the devotees of the Lord, engaged um, in the missionary activities of the Lord. Similar situation in the whole Leela or pastime. Um, Krishna makes such arrangements very often. I mean, Grandfather Bhishmadev, who was also surrounded because he was also about to leave his body, surrounded by so many exalted personalities, including many sages. Uh, Similar, yeah, very similar. Narada Muni was present, Vyasadeva was present. Yet, Lord Krishna arranged to, or selected Grandfather Bhishmadev to actually bring solace or comfort to Yudhishthira Maharaj, who was very uh, demoralized after the battle of Kurukshetra. He was feeling, because he was such an exalted personality, he was feeling that just for my sake, just to put me, on the throne, to to establish me as the emperor of the world, so many millions of people had to be killed. So he was very demoralized, and Krishna chose Yudhisthira, Bhishmadev, because of his very um, high level of consciousness, uh, in that kind of a situation where generally one would not be able to be clear in consciousness, his body being pierced with hundreds of arrows, etc. So it means that actually the Lord, Krishna, makes different arrangements to try and glorify his devotees. Therefore, in the Vedic culture, um, so much of importance is given to to brahmanas. Uh, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitayacha. So there's special living entities who are given, who are very dear to the Lord, given more respect, and whom the Lord arranges for them to be glorified at different times. And of course, here it's, yeah, that's how Prabhupada concludes this short purport. One should never minimize the importance of a devotee like Shukadeva Goswami. So we can continue to read the next, unless somebody has some thought or.
Today is Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day,
Yes.
and not only we who are children, grandchildren of Srila Prabhupada, but actually slowly more and more Vaishnava communities understand that Srila Prabhupada did something very special by the Lord's mercy. Also, he was a businessman. He was not a gift sannyasi all his life. He was not a Naistiki brahmachari like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But he came by the will of the Lord to show this greatness of pure devotional services. When he was started to preach, at that time in America, there was a few Indian preachers, and they have followers, but they use different methods. They use teaching yoga, teaching mystic power, teaching this Ayurveda or something. And their followers were rich, and they supported them. They have a, rich around self-surrenders. But Prabhupada, Prabhupada did, he just preached pure devotional service. He started to chant Maha Mantra. He was actually not speaking about all this wisdom of India, but this one thing, pure devotional service. And he was very strict. And that shows that how the Lord glorified this kind of pure devotees and put them into the historical situations. So I see the same things happen again and again.
Yes. Yesterday at there was like a panel discussion yesterday. Were you there?
I came there, but then I left.
Okay. Anyways, there were 4 devotees. Well, there were 3 when I arrived. I became the 4th. His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj was there. I hadn't seen him for some time. Then Sarvadrik Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, and also Pancharatna Prabhu. He was one of the first devotees I met in Mayapur in those early days. So one of the questions, like each devotee spoke on some topics, and also there was question and answers. Devotees in the audience had opportunity to present some questions. So, and also the animators were Janmastami Prabhu and Atul Krishna Prabhu. Told Krishna Prabhu as the MC. He's connected with the Mayapur Institute. Both of them are actually. So one of the questions was, and each devotees, at least 4 devotees, had opportunity to respond. What was of all the things that Prabhupada did? What were some of the highlights or the contribution actually? What was Prabhupada's most contribution? Most important, we could say, or some of the most important, because there's so many contributions are there, as you started to nicely explain. And it was very interesting, very much in line with what you were mentioning here. Um, I was sitting closest to the MC, so he gave me the mic first. So I responded by saying that, well, to me, and it remains a very prominent, to me, especially contribution of Srila Prabhupada. I mean, bringing this whole knowledge, especially like the Bhagavatam, which in the Western countries, people don't even know about Bhagavad Gita, what to speak of the Bhagavatam, right? And of course, all of our acharyas. And when it came to then beside me was Parshvardhan Prabhu, he also spoke nicely. And then the third devotee, Sarvadrik Prabhu, he just started talking about Prabhupada. Prabhupada himself is a contribution. He contributed himself. Huh?
Contribution personified.
Yeah. I mean, as you are rightly pointing out, I mean, Prabhupada was so unique. He was just like always fully, completely focused on pure devotional service. One devotee who was very prominent, he was one of the GBC members. He was interviewed after many years. His name not coming to mind, but very prominent. He was known as Bhagavan Guru. So in the interview, different questions were there, and one of them was like, "How would you describe Prabhupada?" He gave a very nice answer. He said, "Wherever you touch Prabhupada, it was all bhakti. It was all about devotional service. It was all about the goal, the purpose of life, and how to fully surrender to Krishna." So yes, Prabhupada was chosen. I mean, as you also mentioned, Prabhupada was a grihastha for most of his life. I mean, many of his godbrothers, some of them joined, never went through grihastha ashram. They joined as brahmacharis. They were Naistika brahmacharis, some of them, like their Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And many of them received, I don't know how many, a whole bunch of, many of the disciples or many of the godbrothers of Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. And many of them were like scholars. They had master's degree or PhD degree. They were very intellectual, and you can see it through their writings and through their lectures, etc., like that. So in many ways, Prabhupada was junior, from a material point of view. He took initiation much later. He took initiation 13 years after meeting his Guru Maharaj, something like that. So he was just simple householder, seemingly. But Prabhupada says, from the moment that I met my Guru Maharaj in 1922, I I knew he was my Guru Maharaj, and I fully surrendered to him. And he was, you know, developing, well, Prabhupada had answered to the question, when you became Krishna conscious, or when did, yeah, and Prabhupada explained, I don't remember a time when I ever forgot Krishna. So yes, and because Prabhupada was in that fully surrendered uh, mood and mentality, and simply focused on the essence of what Vedic culture is all about, on the essence of what Bhagavad Gita is teaching, means pure bhakti, devotional service, bhakti yoga, which is the essence of the Bhagavatam as well. Therefore, it's like he was the obvious choice. He was that unique personality who was just wanting to completely serve the mission of his Guru Maharaj. He was the one who was pointed out by his Guru Maharaj. He likes to hear. I noted he likes to hear. He doesn't go away. Uh, and and he obviously was hearing attentively, because he constantly always had in mind the mission of his own Guru Maharaj and the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yes, that means that when we remain focused on what is the essence, then all things will gradually follow. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Although all the God brothers of Prabhupada are very scholar and sculpted person, but the one unique thing that makes Prabhupada unique
Yes.
was that he was very compassion towards downtrodden, downfall persons.
Yeah, he went to lower.
Distributed bhakti
Yes.
among most downfall person, and nowadays distributing.
He was Patita Pavana. Like in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they came to distribute the highest to the lowest.
And still distributing
Yes,
amongst us.
yes, yes, yes,
Because Guru Maharaj, one question.
yeah.
What one should do to avoid aparad against exalted Vaishnav?
Yes,
What should do?
what to do? One should just avoid committing aparadha. One should be always, here it is mentioning in the purport itself, that anyone who, we should be always very respectful, and even someone who's just beginning to chant the holy name, it's not at all ordinary thing for someone to actually become a devotee. What to speak of course, here, Shukadeva Goswami, as a very highly elevated, exalted personality. So we should learn this, we should develop this kind of mentality that anyone who's chanting Hare Krishna, then Prabhupada explained why it is that we address ourselves as, amongst ourselves as Prabhu, because we should learn to see others as Prabhu, that we can learn something from them, that how to serve them. Even, one lecture Prabhupada was explaining to his disciples, the spiritual master, he sees himself as a servant of his disciples. Even though he's a guru, the spiritual master, he sees himself, he has that mood and mentality, how I can serve me, how I can help these devotees. Krishna has made that arrangement that they are uh, coming to learn and to advance in Krishna. How can I best help them? How can I best means serve them? You see. So the more we cultivate this mood of serving devotees, then we will uh, more easily avoid offenses, isn't it? Yeah. And the opposite is there, of course. Yeah.
Maharaj, in the same line, in this particular purport, we see that from an external perspective, Narad Muni was in a much more superior position. He being the spiritual master of Vyasadeva, he chastised him that you have spent
Yeah,
so
right.
much time and energy in
And
writing
here's
Bhagavatam.
his son.
After that, he composed Bhagavatam. Then he taught to his son Srimad Bhagavatam.
Right.
So, but Narad Muni could
Right.
also see that Sukadeva Goswami is actually none other than parrot Sukha of Srimati Radharani and is best eligible to describe the pastimes.
Right.
It's not obvious if all the sages knew of his original identity in the spiritual world,
Right.
but Narad Muni sat in that assembly to hear Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
I was seeing this the Sanskrit, which was not mentioned by Prabhupada, that Shukadev Goswami is compared to the moon in the other great, visible object like planets and
Stars.
these heavenly bodies like we know these.
Yes.
Yeah, scientists call them like some different arrangement of stars, but actually they are sages
Right.
who are whose body
Saptarishi.
is there.
Saptarishi.
So I see that very interesting that as Prabhu mentioned, the compassion. So the why the moon is so famous, and comparing to the sun, when the sun is up, nothing visible from these things on the sky. But when the moon is there, everything still visible, but the moon is focusing or consciousness to one or another part of the sky. So the moon doesn't overshine others, but helps us to glorify all the element of the sky. So that's also compassion. So Prabhupada never wanted to say, I am the best, I am better than my god brothers.
Right.
But his compassion was there and he showed their contributions also. So I see that very perfect is picture, the moon.
Yes. The moon, those who are, it's in the Bhagavatam, and I guess those who know about biology, moon nourishes, no?
Nourishes the plant.
Yeah.
Rasa.
Yeah. That's why people who want to grow things without the moon, because there are so many different ways and methods that people in the last so many decades have introduced to grow food, bypassing the more natural way. But yeah, moon nourishes. So in a similar way, the pure devotees of the Lord, flowers, yes. So yes, that's the primary. Prabhupada points out how that is the foremost quality which Prabhupada so wonderfully demonstrated, this quality of compassion that you mentioned. Titikshava karunika, Sridham sarvadehinam. The pure devotees of the Lord, they are very tolerant, full of compassion for the conditioned souls, and they are the well-wishers and the friends of all living entities. So yes,
his spiritual master. Ekas Chandra Tamohanti
Ah,
Vajratara Sahasratam.
yes. What is the use of so many stars? Uh, one moon.
Can illuminate.
Yes, Prabhupada was. Actually, I remember during there were when Prabhupada was preaching, there were many other groups, a lot of competition, and they had, you know, you were pointing out how many rich people were attracted to other gurus and whatnot, and Prabhupada, he was happy with having just people who were just like dropouts, many of them, or hippies or whatever. Um, but Prabhupada was interested in getting to the center of things. I mean, Prabhupada was interested in winning the hearts of people, not just getting their financial support or whatever. So yes, Prabhupada always was focused on the essence, which is pure bhakti, pure devotional service, and he never compromised at all.
Like when he met Alfred Ford, he did not try to appease him.
Yes.
Directly to asked him, where is Henry Ford now?
Yeah, correct.
Did he do that?
Right. Yes. Um, mm. Yeah, Prabhupada was very, I mean, unique in so many ways. Um, he knew the importance uh, because that was a direct instruction given to him, isn't it? That if you ever get money, print books, which was, you know, Prabhupada took that as really his life and soul to translate. Initially, he was just doing his Back to Godhead magazine, writing articles, and then Prabhupada relates that one time, one person who was praising Srila Prabhupada for being a good writer and a good speaker, because Prabhupada used to lecture in English even before going to the Western world, because he knew that, well, this is what my Guru Maharaj told me. So one time, one person who was appreciating Prabhupada, he told him, I mean, you're writing very nicely, but you should write books. You know, I mean, somehow he made that point, um, and somehow Prabhupada embarked on this whole his life's mission of translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is like huge undertaking, of course, and it just became, yeah, his soul meditation when he was in Vrindavan, and he knew that local scenes, bullock cart. He knew that as soon as he got the first canto of the Bhagavatam printed, okay, I'm ready. This is my ammunition, you know. I'm ready to confront this atheistic and demoniac Western civilization. I'm ready to go to the heart of where, you know, Kali is supreme. New York City. So later on this morning, we will have, as we mentioned, we'll be having a small program here, beginning at 10:30. Those who can make it. 10:30. 10:30, yeah. We'll have Abhishekam and short class also. And Guru Puja. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Gaur Piranandi.
Maharaj ki.